there are benefits, of course, of the raw milk.
Hmm.
But just that process of having dairy cows and the work that goes with it, and then the return, etc. Just
Yes,
some
sir.
plus minuses with the raw milk and dairy cows.
It's I would definitely say I heard the minister say that the greater the reward, the greater the sacrifice.
Mm.
And cows is there's no once Savior's Day the minister put on the screen all the things that come from a cow.
Hmm.
There's no other animal that can produce that much at that level
Hmm.
than a dairy cow can.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, then now you got to think about the work that has to go into taking care of and managing something that can produce so much. So, with that, it takes us into, like I said, that the maintenance that it requires um, is tremendous. And the larger the flock, the different variables that you have to deal with. So, one thing I'll say that most people don't even think about: dairy cows produce milk when they calve. That's it. So once they calf have reached a certain point, or once they have given birth and a certain amount of time has passed by, and they don't get pregnant again, then that dairy cow don't produce milk no more.
Right.
So that's a big thing. So you have to just right there. You have to either one have a bull on your property, or you got to look into artificial insemination
Mm.
because that cow have to be pregnant. I'm sorry, that cow has to give birth in order to produce milk.
Hmm.
And then, and this is just on the birthing and pregnant side of dealing with them, that you also got to think about the dry period.
Yeah.
So once the cow is producing milk, it's going to slack off. Then the cow needs to get pregnant again, and you'll still get milk, but at a certain time you got to stop milking the cow so that his body can get ready to give birth to the calf, and that's important because the calf and if you're trying to grow your stock of dairy cows,
Hmm.
your herd, then you have to think about saving some of your calves. A lot of time people will sell them off,
Mm.
but if you're in it for the long run, it's always best to keep your calves, and that's a whole nother ball game. So that's one side. Then the next side of it, which people more familiar with, is just the milking of the cows. And so cows, for the most part, they're not looking for you to milk them. You have to get them to come into the milk parlor and feed them while they there. Because if you don't have nothing for them while they there, then they want to move on.
Yep.
So you got to think about feeding them while they milking. Once you get the milk comes out the temperature of their body. So you talking about 90 some degrees. It's literally warm milk when it comes out of their body. That inside of that milk is probiotics. And at that temperature, that milk will not last for long at all. So you have to have a system in place to where you immediately are cooling the milk almost simultaneously as it's coming
Mm.
out of the cow. And what I mean by that is it goes into the milking system, and then before it exits the tube, it's going into a cooling system. Or if you don't have that set up, then you have to have some type of setup to where once you put it in the jugs, then you immediately try to bring the temperature down. And that's just with milking. Then the next step is selling the milk or processing the milk. We process the milk as well. So we sold cream, yogurt, we sold milk kefir, and cheese. So so if you're not milking them, then processing the milk is a whole nother ball game. But really, that's where the majority of the profit comes is for they call value added products off of the milk. Oh yeah, don't forget butter. Butter is something that is a if you're able to sell it and have a market for it, it's extremely profitable. Butter is raw milk butter.
Be a part of the force that powers truth in journalism. Your support helps to combat false media. Cash App NNV News.